Okay, got a few things to cover concerning fiat currency, inflation, hyperinflation, and all of that. I'm just going to show a few examples and give a little bit of information behind that, and we'll just go from there. So the first thing that I have is something from 1922, the Weimar Republic. This is a $1,000 mark note. So this here, 1922 was when the hyperinflation was just starting to happen and getting there, and they're losing more and more of their spending power through the currency. So for example, in 1922, $320 marks from the Weimar Republic was equal to $1 US. So it was, I mean, it's deflated compared to the US dollar was, but by the time 1924 came around, 2 years later, it took 1 million of these notes, 1 million notes, single notes, 1 million of them, to equal one of their new currencies that they have, which was the Reichsmark. So they reset their currency, is what they say, how they say that. It's a reset, so they just lop off a bunch of zeros, maybe rename the currency like they did. They went from having this kind of currency and renamed it to Reichsmark, so it took 1 million of these to equal one new currency. So within that, people lost tons of purchasing power through hyperinflation, but then when they did the reset, lost even more. So if they didn't have assets that held value, they were out of luck and they sorely lost. Another example is here I have Russian ruble, 1,000 Russian ruble. Here in 1992, it was 125 rubles to $1. 93, it was 1,247 rubles to $1. 1996, it was 5,560 Russian rubles equaled $1 US. 1997, they reset, came out with a new ruble, still called it a ruble, at a reset, and the reset was 1,001. So you need 1,000 of these to get one new ruble. These became worthless. You had a small window to exchange 1,000 of these for one new ruble because they lopped zeros off. Also, I have another example here. These are Yugoslavian. There's a $500, and this is an older, dated $500 or 500 Bolivar, I believe. So what went by, and then here is a higher marked Bolivar. These were in circulation in 92 to 94 with Tesla on them, and they tremendously lost. So they had 2 years that the hyperinflation was so bad. After 94, they were done making these, and they reset and went to another kind of currency. So by the time 1994 came around, it took 13 million of these old dinars to get one new dinar. 13 million old dinars equals one new dinar because they did a reset. So they just lopped zeros off and made people exchange in the old stuff for new stuff, which was a lot less because the old stuff was highly inflated, overvalued, and from that people lost tons of purchasing power. Before the reset and after the reset, they had no choice, but they just lost tremendously. With that, so 92, 94 were these with Tesla. So 92, 94, the inflation was 62% a day. 62% a day. By 1994, it was over $116 billion percent inflated. Over $116 billion percent inflated. So they had no choice but to do a reset. I also have here, these are from Iraq. This is 50 50 dinar, and here is a larger, a 10,000 dinar. And what is different about these is currently today 50 dinars equals 42 cents roughly US. But when the fall of Saddam Hussein happened, everything that has picture on it, completely all the currencies became worthless. You had a very small window to exchange in, or you lost. They just became worthless. That's what happened to people. They just became worthless. So they lost all the wealth they had because they didn't buy assets, purchase assets. And lastly, we have the $100 trillion bill from Zimbabwe. Their inflation was so bad, hyperinflation was so bad, by mid-2006, there was 1,000 Zimbabwe notes equaled $1 US. By mid-2008, 2 years later, 750 billion Zimbabwe notes equaled $1 US. So they needed a reset. They did a reset. That failed again recently. It's just paper, and that had support and had confidence, and then confidence was lost after all the printing. Now, lastly, this is another paper currency, $100 American bill, USD, $100. This has more confidence than the other ones I've showed you, but this is losing confidence tremendously. China, Russia, a bunch of other countries have lost a lot of confidence in this. People within America are losing confidence in this. This is being tremendously inflated. They are printing over and over. They're quantitative easing. They are almost doubling, tripling, quadrupling the amount of currency that's out there, which makes all the currency that's out there that much weaker with purchasing power. Their purchasing power is dropping every day. So this is inflation, and it's going to hit hyperinflation, and pretty soon this will be another worthless piece of paper like the ones I just showed you. So in order to prepare, save yourself, preserve your wealth, you just got to get into assets, whether it's silver, gold, land, properties, anything that's going to hold value. Get out of the paper currency, get out of the digit currency, the fiat currencies, and protect yourself. If I have more, I will show more. But remember, this, which is worth nothing right now, was worth a ton in 2006. Worth nothing right now, $100 trillion bill, I think is showing where this will end up. It's sad. Until next time, protect yourself, stay vigilant, protect your wealth.